Thanks for tuning in this evening. We've got Katerina joining us. Welcome.
Hi Bianca, thank you for having me.
Good to have you here. All right, so this evening we're going to talk about the benefits of Women's Circle, and I'm glad we're talking about this evening because I've come across women the past a few months. A lot of ladies have talked on this show, and behind the scenes when we finish talking, we talk about women's circles, and I'm quite curious about it. So if you can just firstly start off how you got involved in this.
Oh, well, a little bit of a story, but I'll keep it brief. So I've been involved with different types of therapy and hypnotherapy, life coaching and those types of things, and have attended various, other people's women's circles. And I just found that group environment just so, nurturing and healing in many ways. New connections and friendships, I think, are really important. So, yeah, that's how I got involved in women's circles.
So how many have you been to?
Oh, lost count.
Really?
Yeah.
I've been to any. I've got to get to one.
Okay, all right. Well, we've got to change that.
And I know you've got some coming up.
Yes, I have. Yeah. So I've got 2 coming up next Friday. So 10 a.m. I've got an Inspiring Courage Women's Circle. And at 2 o'clock, one for cleansing and intuition. So when I help people to build on those, their gut feeling and that intuition that we all have.
Exactly.
We just don't take much notice. We tend to brush it aside and, think differently. But, if anybody that's interested in that, let's go with it.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, we were saying just before we started that there's a long history with women's circles. So if you could just briefly talk to us about that.
Yeah, sure. So women's circles have been going on for a very long time. The Native American Indians, for instance, the women in those tribes, would gather together, in line with their menstrual cycle, and those would be, red tent women's circles, and they sort of saw it as giving back to the earth. And I just think of, my own culture of, being Greek and, and we would gather and cook and talk and, that's sort of an informal type of thing. But, at the end of that, you've talked about some of those things that have been weighing on your mind. And at the end, you've baked your baklava and, you all feel really good about, spending time together. Same thing. Yeah, This is just a little bit more of a ceremony, a ritual, but we still include the activities so that, there's that bonding and we're being creative and we're, teaching each other. So, there's a lot to be gained from it.
Yeah. It reminds me when you talk of this sort of thing too, that saying about, going back many years ago, it takes a village to raise a child. And, even in a lot of African communities still to this day, that they, get together and that all the aunties are raising all the nieces and nephews. And I think, how amazing is that? Yeah. Everyone in the Western world currently, we've all got our own little house and we're our own little lives.
Yes.
And, everyone's separate. We only get together, for events.
That's
but
right.
Understandably, everyone's busy. There's a lot more stress in the world, no judgment, but that's just how life has become.
That's right.
So, I think there's definitely a call for women's circles and people getting together and that sort of thing and sharing. And, I was looking into all this actually this afternoon just before we caught up this evening, and like we were just saying, there's so many benefits, physical benefits of reducing stress. It's good for mental health. It lowers blood pressure, so many other things, self-esteem. You build bonds with people.
That's right. That connection I think is really important.
Yeah.
But, all the other things that come with it are the positive effects of getting together with other humans and enjoying each other company,
exactly.
Is really positive.
Yeah. Look, we're talking about women's circle, but guys also need it. I
absolutely.
When I first started dating my husband Peter, who you know very well, I remember we've gone back 20 years plus. He said to me, we were only dating for a few weeks, and he said, now I catch up with the boys on every Friday night. That's what I do. That's what we've always done. I just need to know before we go forward, are you cool with me every Friday night? And I love my mates, and that's not going to change for any woman. Are you on the same page? I said, okay, mate, and that's fantastic, you know.
Yeah.
And guys need that too.
Oh, absolutely.
I see the way he bonds with his mates.
Yep.
Guys need guys, women need women.
Yes.
People need people.
That's right.
We're social creatures.
Look, I've got friends that host similar types of events for men. Look, I'm saying
Excellent.
yes, if somebody wants, if males want to join, we're not saying, we're not excluding anybody, but it's typically the wording is it's usually focused around the women's sort of side of it, but there's quite a few groups around Adelaide that are focusing on the men, which I think is really, really positive. So what I'll do is actually on my Facebook page, I will actually add in a couple of those links tonight, because I think it's important that people are able to connect with others, and that we don't want to exclude the guys either. So there's some really, really great stuff happening around Adelaide at the moment.
And are there groups with males and females, or one?
Oh, absolutely, you can do. Yes, definitely.
Are they called circles, or is it just like meetups?
No, they're more meetups, but they, they will, get together and have campfires and get the guitars out, and it's a little bit different. I think our needs are probably a little bit different in the way that, we sort of get together and. And the things that women do and guys do are usually a bit different anyway. But, more than happy for people to, join in. Yeah. But there are some really great groups for the guys at the moment, which is really good. Yeah.
Probably if we did have men and women, the guys would find their own corner, the women would gravitate. Right. It always happens, doesn't it? Even at get-togethers, the women huddle together and the men. That's just how we're wired up.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
That's it. I did see, where is it? I wrote it down. Also, they did some studies on women, and they showed improvement in ageing issues of women that got together in these women's circles regularly. And it showed improvement in aging issues such as bone density, even things like that, and overall better self-care from the bonds and friendships.
Yep.
And we know how good we feel when we're around people.
Absolutely.
And the power of talking.
And I think, when we look at society now, we don't spend a lot of time with people that we really value. We run around in the morning, we rush off to work, and then it's the big rush to get home. We don't spend a couple of hours just on ourselves and that time to really relax. And that's what I think is fantastic about this. It gives you the chance just to switch off, enjoy the company of others, do something that's really enjoyable, the activities that we do. And, you see people's faces relax from the beginning to when they leave, and, they're actually standing taller. They've really enjoyed that time. And, it's probably taken a load off their mind at the same time. So, I can see why they're saying that these studies are, showing such great benefit. Yeah.
So what can people expect at one of these gatherings? Is there a bit of, shavasana, the lying down pose? Do we have to bring our yoga mats? You lie down and rest a bit, do some deep breathing?
Oh, look, it depends on what the host really wants to do.
So
absolutely. So, we can sit in chairs because not everybody can sit on the floor in a yoga pose. Yeah. We can sit on the floor if that's what everybody wants to do, or we could do a mix, so that's okay. There's usually an opening ceremony. There's some little guidelines about what will happen during a circle. We have some activities that are based on the theme of the circle. And depending on what activities we do, will be 1 to 3 activities. So it might be art, it might be writing, it might be something about I'm trying to think some of the other things that we do. It might be massage, it might be storytelling. There's just a massive list of different activities we can do. We'll do a meditation and then a closing ceremony as well. So it goes for about an hour and a half to 2 hours from beginning to end.
Okay.
Yep.
And I've heard people are sort of doing this in place of baby showers or bridal showers.
Absolutely.
They're doing a women's circle.
Absolutely.
I hate to say it, but I did see Kim Kardashian doing that a couple of years ago on one of her shows.
Yeah.
They did a sound bath, and they all brought their yoga mat, and they were all lying down in a circle. They started off with just some deep breathing in the sun. They did it on a Sunday. Yeah. And then, you eat, and then you do activities. It was nice.
Yeah,
it was
absolutely.
just similar to catching up, but more women's circle style.
That's right. There's a little bit of a structure
Yeah.
to it. Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Same thing. Morning, afternoon tea, lunch. You know, you can incorporate all that with it as well. So.
But there's more. It's more sort of the difference would be if someone's sort of asking what's the difference. It's more sort of intentional, isn't it?
Absolutely, it is. Yeah. So. You know, I'll put some scripts together and, you know, we'll run through those opening and closing and the activities that we do in between. My background, obviously, as a hypnotherapist gives me some really cool skills in writing some meditation. So, you know, obviously the difference between a meditation and a hypno script is that there are no commands in a meditation. So I can, you know, write some amazing meditations to go with, you know, the various themes that we have. And again, it's just about, you know, creating that relaxing environment and hopefully bringing some, you know, for some people it really is like therapy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I suppose it makes sense that you do those sort of activities because, you know, if everyone just rocked up and sat in a circle and said, okay, who's going to start? You know, what do? You just got to sort of relax and get in that trust mode. You know, you trust the people that are there. You're all there for to get the same thing out of it.
That's right, exactly. It's to keep things on track as well. So, you know, we have a plan of how we want to see the afternoon or morning go, and you know we sort of stick with that. So there's time frames that we want to get the activities done by, and you know there's an opportunity to share, and it's a lot of good fun.
What about sound baths? Are you into that?
No.
I bought one from Marion. It was they got all the little Buddha in the store. I don't know, some store where you have all these sort of relaxing things and candles and candelabras and things like that. And I bought a sound bowl. I thought, let's just try this out. It's stunning.
I've heard other people, you know, I've listened to them, but I don't have one myself. I think I would probably muck it up.
It's a thing though. Like I met
beautiful.
someone who does sound massage. They literally do a 1 hour massage on someone, but with sound therapy.
Yes.
And the person just lies there.
Yeah.
It's just like lying down and listening to calming music, but you've got someone facilitating it and using the certain bowls because there's a different resonance with different thicknesses and that of the bowl. Yeah.
Not something I have delved in.
Yeah, right.
But yes, it certainly sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my husband thought, is she all right? I was sort of banging it and doing it, and my dog came running in because you know dogs can hear the sound. But it's actually quite relaxing now. Yeah. My husband picks it up and plays it every now and then. He made a joke of it, but I think he quite likes it.
Oh, that's good.
There's all these interesting ways of unwinding now, isn't there?
Absolutely.
You know, who would have thought of a sound bath or going and booking in for a sound massage? I'd never heard of it years ago.
But this is the beauty, isn't it? That we all have something else that we resonate to, and we need more choices. Yeah, it's great.
And look, I was just watching a couple of videos on this topic of women's circles, and I think it's important because they did sort of mention about taking the mask off, the mask that we wear every day, that strong outer shell to say, we're okay, or we don't want to complain to people, we don't want to be the whinger, we just sort of stiff upper lip, a bit of that English mentality. If something's wrong, we don't say, even to people we're quite close to, people in the family circle, we don't really say anymore. People don't talk, only if they really have to.
That's right.
Or if it's at breaking point. But, it's about taking off that mask and just being a real person and saying, I'm struggling with this. It doesn't mean we're weak.
No,
it doesn't mean anything
not.
negative. In fact, wasn't it Brene Brown that did that TED talk on vulnerability, the power of vulnerability, saying, people that show their vulnerability, that's strength.
Absolutely.
We don't always have to pretend everything's fantastic 100% of the time when it's not. We're human.
That's right. And the more you suppress it, the more it builds up, and it's, it will surface eventually. So, it's important that we take time out and, deal with things as they start building up rather than waiting to the point where, we, are really struggling emotionally to get through.
Yeah.
It's, you know, we have a busy lives, and I think it's time, you know, we sort of took time out and started looking after ourselves, because, you know, as they say, you can't give from an empty cup.
Exactly.
So, you know, a couple of hours every now and then to recharge your batteries, and, you know, to maybe put things into perspective. Maybe we're worrying about something really tiny that, and, you know, the bigger your circle, the smaller your problems appear as well. So it does help.
Yeah. And also, just to mention as well, that sort of things can manifest in the body. You know, I forget the label. I think it was Louise Hay wrote a book about that. If you know the book, how different emotions can be stored in different parts of the body, and illness can come from. I mean, we can eat a perfect diet, and we can, you know, exercise and do all the right things, but if we've got this sort of built up anger towards someone, or, you know, something's not right with someone, that can manifest in the body and create illness and disease.
Absolutely.
You know, if our emotions aren't in check.
Yes, definitely.
We're not dealing with something.
That's right.
It sounds a bit, some people might not get that, but it's there's so much science on it.
Oh, definitely. And look, and I'm a Reiki practitioner as well, and, you know, and I see that in people, that it manifests in the body, and, you know, work to clear that for people, and to, you know, address those issues emotionally, and release it and let it go. And, you know, they've come in limping, or, you know, walk away, you know, feeling so much better. I had one man who I used to see who had a tumour behind his eye, and after a couple of sessions with me, the tumour had started reducing in size. So, you know, dealing with it emotional really made a massive difference for him. So, I
believe in all that stuff. I mean, the thing is that, look, we know that even if we get upset, you know, your stomach will sort of not feel the best, or if someone's stressed, they'll feel it all of a sudden, or the next day in their shoulders or their back or their neck. You know, they've had something isn't right, and then it manifests in the body. So it's a real thing. It's not. Or we get a headache when we're stressed. We've had a fight with someone, then we get a headache.
That's
why have I
right,
got a
exactly.
headache? Well, stress does it.
Yes, that's right, exactly. So great. We need lots of different tools to be able to clear that stress from us, from our bodies and our minds.
So if you can just go over the upcoming
sure.
sessions.
So next Friday, the 8th of July, Inspiring Courage at 10 a.m. and the Intuition and Cleansing at 2 p.m. So you can pop onto my Facebook page, Sacred Women's Circles Adelaide, and there's a couple of links there if you want to book a place for that. So there are limited spots, and I'm sure they will fill up fairly quickly.
Excellent. Now, so you said you do Reiki and hypnotherapy. You still doing all that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a master practitioner in hypnotherapy, neuro-linguistic programming, life coaching. I've been in this space for quite a while. Yeah, absolutely love it.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's look, I mean, a lot of people do.
Yes.
It's empowering. It's just tools
absolutely
to empower oneself, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's just
definitely.
like that positive mantra, thinking positively.
Yeah, absolutely.
Proactive.
You know, remove those limiting beliefs and those things that are blocking you from achieving your goals. You know, we all have those. You know, and it's quite simple to move those when you know how. So and again, you know, people can book those sessions through me as well if they're interested.
What's your business called?
So I actually have
so
I have a not-for-profit association that I have. It's called the Esteem Project.
Yeah, I think I came across that.
Yeah, and obviously Women's Circles is part of that. So it does support a not-for-profit. And what, you know, my passion is really helping people to overcome PTSD, depression and anxiety as a result of traumatic events in their lives. You know, in what was another life for me, I was impacted quite severely by trauma as a result of being involved in an armed hold-up. So, you know, that created a lot of, you know, stress and anxiety, and obviously PTSD as a result. And to, you know, that journey to find the healing that I needed to overcome that, you know, that drama that I went through, that's how I found all of this. You know, that's what got me through the, you know, the cycle of PTSD. And so, you know, I've learnt those skills and, you know, gained the qualifications, and I want to help others to overcome all those things that are holding them back and live a happy and fulfilling life. So, yeah, that's my purpose.
Yeah, and I always find it interesting how people get involved in things, and it makes sense now. That's how you got interested in all this.
Absolutely.
It was part of your healing process. That's how it always starts from an organic place. And that's, you know, I trust people that, you know, obviously do what you do because it's come from a real organic place and it helped you and you want to help others.
Absolutely.
Makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. I know the significant impact that, you know, these types of therapies have had on me. You know, 20 years ago, there was no way I was walking to the letterbox. I was just too scared. You know, this PTSD just had me a prisoner. You know, and I just knew that I had to do something. Like it was really holding me back. And I thought, you know what, no one else can help me. I need to get out there and help myself. So what do I think will help me? And these were the things that I had done. Significantly, you know, improved my life, you know, and I feel amazing for it. And I just want to be able to, you know, help others because I know a lot of other people are trapped. So, you know, if there's a way that I can help them and they're ready to make that step, then I'm here to support them.
Yeah. And look, that's the power of these gatherings as well, the Women's Circle also, is because, you know, sometimes things don't leave. Like we can be healed. I know, I won't go into specifics, but I know something I've gone through, you know, I can sit here and say I feel like I'm healed from it, like I got over it, but like there's still that 1% right there that will never go, and that's why it's good to have that support and to acknowledge that, and that is empowering to oneself too, to say it's okay if there's just a little bit of that something, because it happened, it's a memory, and we have to honor that. We're not this perfect person, we're not a robot, we're a human, and that's why it's good to share.
That's right, exactly. You know, and realize you're not alone. You know, there are others as well. And in most cases, you know, we might move on from something, but, you know, there's a learning that comes from, you know, some of these negative events that happen in our life. And that was the thing for me, you know, how do I move on from this and acknowledge that this has happened, and yes, it was a horrible event, and but not let it hold me back.
Yeah, that's the key.
That's the thing.
That it's okay to still have that emotion, because
absolutely,
that's part of the story.
That's right.
But like, how did you say it? What was the sentence you said? Just how you said it, to that it doesn't stop you. That
No, definitely no. Can't let it hold you back. Absolutely, because. You know, that happens. You know, am I going to surrender my life and my future to one person who, you know, did something stupid one day and I'm sure is still regretting that decision as well? You know, sometimes you just have to step up, take some responsibility and say, you know what, this crappy thing may have happened to me, but it's my responsibility to move on from this and to, you know, find those things that are going to help me to heal and to grow and learn and move on and be happy. Exactly. Live the life that I was just, you know, I deserve to have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And look, I'm going to say this, it might come across negative and I don't want it to, but you know, what someone's gone through, people don't get it. People don't get it unless they've been through it.
That's right.
People don't get it. And there's a sadness there for someone who has gone through, well, look, most of the world, most people have gone through something traumatic, whatever it is, but people don't get it. That's why it's good to talk and go through these self-healing practices.
Oh, definitely.
And it's not saying it in a bad way that they don't get it. It's just that, well, how can they if they haven't been through it?
Well, that's right,
they
exactly.
can try to understand, but it's like, you know, the power of listening. What do they say when you're talking with someone who's going through something like even a loss of a loved one, and we sit there and we say, oh, I understand, you'll be all right. Sometimes the best thing is to say nothing.
Absolutely.
To just listen, because we don't know what they're going through. It might not be all right. Well, it's not all right now.
No, that's right.
So they don't feel that good.
And
We
most
always want to
people
fix people. We always want to say the right thing, but it's best sometimes to say nothing, just listen.
Exactly. And some people will turn around and say, well, how do you know it's going to be all right? You've never been in this situation. You don't know how I feel. So, you know, you can't. So all you can do is sit there and support them. And in most cases, you know, the studies that I have read say that 90% of healing happens just by letting somebody empty out and let them talk about how they're feeling and that until they've got nothing left to say.
Brilliant.
That's the healing process.
Brilliant. And that's a skill, isn't it? To just be present with someone, to just listen and honour them, and not always want to fix them. We always want to fix people and give the right advice, but sometimes
there just isn't.
People don't want that.
No.
They just want someone to listen.
They just want to be heard. People want to be heard, want to be understood. So, you know, I've seen that quote many times, you know, to listen to understand, not to respond. And that's quite appropriate with these types of, you know, situations where people are trying to heal. Yeah.
Katerina, thank you so much. Oh, it's beautiful. Thank you for coming in.
Oh, thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure. Really enjoyed speaking with you tonight. Thank you.
And I look forward to coming along to one of those, or even holding one myself.
Yes, definitely.
And you as a facilitator.
I can't wait.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, thank you. Loved it.
That was good.
Excellent.
We covered everything. Beautiful.
Good. I'm glad we did. I wasn't sure how much